the agenda. So we're going to talk about the purpose, do a few introductions, talk about our approach, what's the content of the course, participant journey, practical details, and then Q&A. If you have questions along the way, feel free to just ask, or if you want to let it flow, feel free to put it in the chat in Zoom as well, and then we can come back to them at the end as well. That's another way to do it.
I just have one question.
Yes.
How long is this session supposed to last?
Maximum 1 hour, but we can go as fast or slow as you need.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay, so let's go back. Sorry, let's just go back to the purpose of the course. In essence, a little while ago, a group of us looked around and understood that a lot of the leadership training out there is very corporate oriented. It's not really geared towards social change. Like maybe it's on an organizational level, how to be a team lead in your particular context, but it didn't necessarily link to that broader perspective of what social change is as well. And like there's multiple layers to sort of be aware of. The individual layer is incredibly important, and that's a little bit about what this self course is about, taking a look at the individual layer and how you operate. Your inner game drives your outer game, so to speak, but we also wanted to find a way to link that into like the broader picture. So hence this series of courses was born and has gone through a few different machinations over the years that we've been running it. So we're going to start I want to hear from both of you. What's your name? What piqued your interest in the course? Because that's going to tell me something about the type of information I should be giving you. What exposure have you had to leadership training? And what do you hope to get out of this information session? So maybe Malati, could we start with you?
Me. Well, I'm living in Portugal and I'm the president of Amert over here. And I'm running a small team. And of course, I'm in a sort of leadership role and I would like to hone my skills and, you know, expand my knowledge in this area. So that's what piqued my interest. And yeah, because we can always learn. Human beings are not always easy to work with, and I could use some more skills.
And is there anything in particular you'd like to get out of the information session?
No, I'm just curious.
Very good. Okay, Seelan.
Hey, Namaskar, Sachin. Namaskar, Malaki. Yeah, pretty much similar. I'm the remote lead in Brisbane, and we just formed a group together, and it's a national initiative to drive some more projects and respond to stuff going on around the world. So what piqued my interest was, how can we use your leadership training, firstly, train the lead, and then the lead offers the training to the group, and see how we can raise a leadership competency amongst our group, and lots of young people in our group, and the earlier that they get skilled, the better it is. And with this course, I'll say it's very relevant to AM and would be good, and it's got a maybe big proud content and relates to proud as well. So, yeah, I think I'm here to look and see what I can get out of it, and then to suggest it to the others in the group.
Very good. Thanks very much. And Bhakti has joined us as well. Hi, Bhakti.
And right now I'm not using as my main tool for the projects that I want to do, but it still is a big part of who I am and the way that I want to move in the world. And also I've had well, I have had some struggles with leading, and so right now I want to be able to understand and to know that it's something that I have to do, and yeah, and I'm here because I want to know what is the best way, and to, yeah, just to get some knowledge about it. Yeah. I can't hear. Mm, and my camera was on. Yeah. But yeah, I cannot hear somehow.
Recording this session there's about another 10 people that signed up for the information session, so we're recording it so we can send it out to them for their viewing as well. Okay, so let's just jump into basically I'm going to go through and answer, I'll just quickly show, here's the agenda, Bhakti. So we're talking about what's our approach, course content, the participant journey, practical details, and then Q&A. You are welcome to, if it makes sense to interrupt the flow, feel free to jump in. Otherwise, write your questions in the chat or write them down some other place and we can come back to them at the end. So a little bit about our approach. Our approach is it's like a coaching course. It's not like a university course. It's encouraging, it's supportive. We allow you to follow your curiosity. On this course, we basically introduce you to a whole bunch of content that's actually a little bit too much to pack into the 14 weeks, to be honest. And so what we want you to do is get a bit of a flavor for each of them and then figure out what's really of interest to you and sort of do some deep dive on those areas. We really want it to be applied. We want you to apply the learnings to your experience. We want you to slow down and observe. We want to foster learning how to learn in you. So not just being a receptacle for knowledge, but learning how to unlock the knowledge that's already inside through your interactions with your environment, with your context. We are reflection and practice based, and we don't assess skills because unless you do a 360-degree feedback with the people around you, no one can really assess whether you're a good leader. Instead, what we assess on this course is your engagement in the content, and we do that through things like reflective journaling. So your ability to look at the content, try and make sense of it, see what you notice and observe, and write about it in essence. So I want to give an overview of the overarching Leadership for Social Change program, because within that we have 4 main courses, which we kind of call our deep dive 14-week programs. 2 of them have been developed and the other 2 are still in development. In addition to these, we're also planning to run short courses of maybe 4 to 6 weeks, specializing in particular topics. But you can see there we've got one's called Self-Awareness and Transformation, which we have shortened to SELF on this slide. Another one is called Teams. They're the 2 that we have actually developed so far. And then once we get enough interest, we will also be running Leading Others and then Leading Leaders. Self, it's sort of starting at the self and it's going up and out, if that makes sense. But we're designing it in such a way that you can actually take any of the courses first. But I would say that if you're not already leading leaders, you probably want to take some of the other ones first, because there is sort of a natural progression that happens in that way. But if you've got a lot of experience, then that sort of thing wouldn't matter too much because you would have seen those environments and contexts. Here's the participant journey. So we have a 14-week program and there's a lot of stuff going on, as you can see on the right-hand side. But it's basically summarized as there's online content that you read and watch and go through in our Google Classroom. We have, in terms of assessment, we have 4 reflective journal submissions. We also have 5 90-minute live group coaching or group coachings or meetings. So we basically have a kickoff. We have a like a finish up session. And then in between, we have a 90-minute, and then we have a 4.5-hour live workshop, and then a 90-minute coaching, and a 4.5-hour workshop, and then a 90-minute coaching, and a 4.5-hour workshop. So apart from the live aspect, there's also like an online, not exactly self-paced, but it's self-paced in terms of you can do it whenever during the week you have time. And then there's some readings or some watching of material. And when we are in either our 90-minute group coachings or our 4.5-hour workshops, then we might also do things like some quizzes and things of that kind of nature. The other thing that we do is at the beginning and the end of the course, we run a self-assessment on how confident you feel in relation to the different learning objectives. And usually what we hope to see is that you've felt some improvement from where you started to where you are now. It's not an assessment in terms of pass-fail. It's just for you to see where you think that you've progressed. And here's the content here that we can see down the right-hand side. So the need for leadership, self-development, who am I psychologically, DISC profiles, which are ways of understanding how we relate to others. So a big focus of the course is how do I relate to myself? How do I relate to other people? And we use a lot of these frameworks to test that out and practice it. We learn about feedback models. We learn about boundaries, managing our boundaries with ourselves and other people. And then there's about 3 sessions dedicated to neo-humanism topics like formation of knowledge, neo-humanism in action or values, cultural intelligence and inclusion. And the one that's probably least understood in the beginning but most loved by the end of the course is actually memes and consciousness change. What narrative has to do with our sense of self, how we relate to others, and how we can use it to drive change in ourselves and others. All right. Any questions so far, particularly on the content? Okay, so another piece on the participant journey, we also set up a WhatsApp group for each of the sections. As I said, so there'll be a section A, which is Europe to Asia Pacific, and there'll be a section B, which is Americas to Europe. So that means like either myself or Soraya will, for example, we will message just prior to the Zoom meeting just to remind people again on the day that it's about to happen. There's also a Google Classroom, which is where all of the online content is, and I've got a bit of a screenshot of that on the right-hand side. There's an area for classwork, and we break it down into weeks, and then you just click through and sort of go through the different activities, complete assessments or quizzes, and there's also a participant forum. And the nice thing about Google Classroom is you can do it on your desktop, and I encourage people to do this, you can actually download the app to your phone, so that you can read content, watch content on your phone whilst you're, I don't know, sitting at the bus stop or doing other things where you might just be looking to fill a bit of time. And here's some of the practical details. So the course starts on March 14th and runs to June 13th. Section A will be at 4 p.m. Brisbane time, led by myself. That is currently 6 a.m. UK time, just to put it in perspective. But given that we don't have daylight saving, but Europe does, so that will change to be the equivalent of 7 a.m. UK time from when daylight saving starts in those areas. Section B is 11 a.m. Sao Paulo time. I unfortunately can't tell anyone what that is in their for their time zone, but you can at least look that up and see what time that would be for you. As I said, 14 weeks, you can enroll in the link that we have listed there, which I can also put something in the chat if anyone wants to go save it, or you can take a screenshot, take a photo on your phone if you want whilst we're waiting. We have, in terms of tuition, we have some really great offerings. Basically, you can get 40% off the tuition if you bring your friends. So if there's 5 of you, you can see here there's different tiers. The tiers, we ask people to sort of self-choose based on their economic circumstance. Typically, a course like this at one of the big leadership institutes would be worth anywhere between $1,500 to $5,000 US. We provide that at heavily discounted rate. because we're trying to basically help improve the leadership capacity on the planet. It does very much use a lot of the latest leadership ideas. I have a master's in leadership, a master's in training development. I have over 25 years of leadership in military, corporate, and not-for-profit settings. So I've basically found all of the big thinkers that I love the most and pulled them together. And then I've got a bunch of my peers who are also into leadership training and development and ask them to add all their biggest thinkers that they love and put that into the course as well. So you're getting really high quality content and also really high quality process as we go through it. So can you see, like, are the figures big enough for you to see on the screen, or are they a little bit too small? Do I need to read anything out? So what questions do you all have about the program?
How much homework is involved?
Good question. So there's only, I know because Malati, you've done one of ours previously. It's very different to how it used to be. We now only have 4 pieces of homework. There's no quests or anything like there used to be. It's just 4 reflective journals, one after each of the workshops, and then one at the very end, a reflection on the entire course. Then we have some quizzes that we do in class rather than homework. And then we also have, here we are, just admit Savada and Dharmamitra, and then we also have like the self-assessment that we do before and afterwards, but that's just more like entering a feedback form. It's not really assessment per se.
But you're just coming back to the costs. What is the work again? Sorry.
Yeah, so what you'll do is you choose your tier. So if you're in an economically solid situation, then you'd pay full price, which is one of you, it'd be $700. If there's 5 of you, you'd only pay $420 per person. So we give a 40% discount if you bring 4 friends with you and have a group of 5. And then if you're in a very, if you need the access rate, so if you're having significant financial constraints, then you would go tier 4, and then there's tier 2 and 3 in between.
Okay. And in terms of time frame, what time would the classes be?
So meaning what time do they start, or the date?
Yeah, 4 p.m.
4
and
p.m. Brisbane time.
yeah, and that would run for
So most
90
5 of
minutes?
them are for 90 minutes, so 4 p.m. till 5:30 p.m. And then 3 of them are workshops that run for 4.5 hours. So then they go from 4 p.m. till 8:30 p.m. on a Saturday.
I guess that's designed. Oh, this is all run on Saturdays.
It's always run on a Saturday. Yep. Sorry, I should have put that in there.
Yeah. Okay. That's what was concerning me.
Yeah. No, so it's on a Saturday, so it doesn't impact, work life. Just weekend.
Okay.
And we've just had a couple more join, Saveda Dharmitra and Dada Shudatmananda. We've actually gone through the content, but I will come back to it at the end. I'll just see if there's any questions with Seelan and Malati and Bhakti, and if there's not, we can do a quick rerun on them.
No, but I just want to actually share that I do work on weekends.
You work on the weekends?
Yeah, until 5. But yeah, if it's spread out, so I can always ask for 1 hour.
Yeah. Whereabouts are you located again, Bhakti?
I am in Lisbon right now.
Oh, okay.
I'm in Lisbon.
You could, if you're happy to get up early in the morning, the first one will be 6 a.m. It depends what time you start work, but the first one would be 6 a.m. But then pretty much shortly thereafter it would be 7 a.m. on Saturdays for you if you were to choose section A.
Okay. So okay. Then yeah. But but then the workshops also start in the morning.
Yes,
for me.
That's right. So the group coaching would be, your time would go from 7, except for the very first one, which would be earlier. They would normally go from 7 until 8:30, and then the workshops would go from 7 until 11:30, and there's 3 workshops.
Okay. Okay, I'll have to think a little bit about the logistic of it.
No problem. And I'm just going to put up here,
Yeah,
here's the dates.
thank you.
And they're all Saturdays, so you can take a look at the dates there as well. That's also all located on the website. So if you go to the website, this one here, it's got all the details on there, the pricing, the dates, the content and everything. Any other questions? No? Okay, well, for Bhakti, Malati and Seelan, if you don't have other questions, you're welcome to leave. And then we will, I can restart for Saveda and Sharatmananda.
Okay. Thanks so much. That was very informative.
Very good.
See you in
Thank
the
you,
course.
Satya.
Thank you.
Thank you.
No,
We'll
namaste.
reach out to your website and
Yes.
and the start dates and all are on your website. Is that
Yeah,
correct?
March 14th. So in about 4 weeks.
Okay. And you're going to send out this recording?
Yes, we'll get the college to send out the recording to you so you can forward it on, I guess, as well.